Venture Quest 2013, the second adventure, provided by the Pony Express Council. Preparation took a full year. Eric Walker and Breon Bircher met on the snow-covered hills of Camp Geiger to make sure all was in place. The pair did their best to have fun, with the help of Quartermaster Sean Killen and all-around help from Dennis Draper. "40 youth and adults had a great week working on their majors. Majors selected this year were Basic PADI Scuba Certification, Advanced Scuba Certification, Shooting Sports, Mountain Biking, Wilderness First Aid Certification and Survival Skills, and Outdoor Cooking. Instruction for each major started on the rolling hills of Camp Geiger. Scuba got a head start as everyone had to take a strenuous swim test in the Geiger pool. Under the patient leadership of Chuck McIntosh, equipment was checked out. Sunday evening was spent in the classroom of Herzog Lodge, as was most of Monday. On an unusually cold, 64-degree, rainy, late July afternoon, the first pool dive was attempted. A few brave souls tried, but the dive was abandoned due to the cold. All of the equipment was packed up, ready for the trip to warmer weather. Upon arrival at C&J Sports, the divers took to the pool, working until dark to catch up. With a lot of effort and a good group, they were able to make their first open water dive on Wednesday. This was only the first of several dives to be completed by late Thursday afternoon. The advanced group did a number of dives with the basic group, but early on Friday morning, they headed out on a dive boat for their last needed dive. The week ended with 8 earning basic certification. 3 advanced certification, and 2 with specialty dives, including one of over 100 feet deep. The bikers also started out getting their bikes and helmets set up on Sunday and a short ride. Under the leadership of Andrew Becker, Reed Schmidling, and Dustin Wenzel, they perfected their skills. Finally, they tackled Cardiac on Tuesday morning. Unfortunately, Dustin got hurt. In Arkansas, it was an hour drive for Sean with the bike trailer to Hobbs State Park. On Wednesday, they followed 2 of the shorter but steeper of the park's beautiful biking trails. On Thursday, they took a longer trail, but reported an easier ride. Our gun enthusiasts started Sunday in the meeting room of Herzog Lodge, learning about the guns they were to use and all the safety factors from senior expert Marvin Atkins. His sidekick, Norman Chips, helped with the instruction both in the classroom and on the range. At Geiger, in a light rain and cold weather, they shot 38 caliber revolvers and 9mm semi-automatic handguns. Then they moved on to muzzle-loading rifles and handguns. By the time they left for Beaver Lake, they had many great experiences. In Arkansas, they traveled with the bikers to Hobbs State Park to a public range. There, they used the .22 rifles under the expert eyes of Norman. Unfortunately, they didn't take time for pictures. However, while at Hobbs, both groups enjoyed the visitor center. Friday morning, it was time to break out the bows and arrows for some 3D archery. C&J Sports has 3D targets all around the property. Wilderness first aid instruction was in Getz Lodge with the expert Dick Dornick. Once through the classwork, it was practice. Then off to the woods behind C&J. There to learn to build survival shelters and practice more emergency techniques. For the final challenge, Dick set out a few items that were supposed to have been recovered in a plane crash. The group was to survive a day with just those items. This included a packet of food that can be dropped from the air in a disaster area.
Here's Dustin learning how to make his vanilla shake. Cooking their chicken and rice for a fire they made themselves. First aid class practicing this summer.
Thanks to our chef, Joe Curry, and the cooking program, we had some good eats. Although this year there was only one student, Joe and Mary created a great main meal each day. The biggest surprise was the fresh wild pig provided by C&J. Friday morning, they brought in a wild pig only minutes after it was shot. With the help of Dick, Joe had a great lunch for us to head home on. Once every day, we gathered for a great meal, starting with Eric's welcome and Rod Count's great opening meal. Monday, we had to move dining to the training center due to the rain and a lake outside of Getz Lodge. Tuesday noon, we were outside again in our normal atmosphere. It was to Arkansas and our outdoor shelters. On Thursday, we were joined by the crew from Rogers, Arkansas, which was a great time of sharing. Of course, there was the pig. VentureQuest wouldn't be right without some special social time. It started with swim checks and then the pool party. Sunday evening's feature was the root beer kegger and games. Monday, we had root beer floats. On Beaver Lake, there is a nice swimming beach that we took advantage of both Wednesday and Thursday afternoons. Of course, after swimming, some rest time was required. Then there was the sandpit volleyball games. Everyone could find something to do. We enjoyed comfortable housing. At Camp Geiger, staff enjoyed Getz Lodge. Male participants stayed in the training center, while the girls and women were in the cabins. In Arkansas, C&J let us have the run of the bunkhouse. Of course, there was the 5-hour ride to Beaver Lake. Arriving in Arkansas, the caravan was ready to get to the lake. And C&J Sports, as well as the beauty of the Ozarks. Then there was the ride back home and the closing. We're now getting ready for the next great adventure in July of 2014.